Are you ready for some more? Are you ready for some more racing? It is time to go racing with the lights. They're Wildcard racing. Here we go. Here are the boats with 3 going to the final. It's the Miss Critical Logic, the Power Punch, Roxy 94.5, the Foster Care Vitamin Water, and the SuperTravelZone.com. Those are the boats in the Lights Heat Wildcard.
The Unlimited Lights Wildcard Heat is presented by Seafair for Graham Trucking, the intermodal container solution.
And if you remember the Oklahoma land rush with the Conestoga wagons, as Pat remembers them actually. No, I'm only kidding. Here come boats under the bridge.
And he called that race.
I won that race.
And heading over. So that is the scene with 2.5 minutes to go. The boats are revving up. You can hear them just behind us here in the pits. Those that make the noise, the lights. So taking a look at the course, most of the boats are out there now. And here we go. Here's Paul Becker. Chip, he did not finish in that Heat 2B.
Paul Becker probably drove the best race boat race I've ever seen in my life. Last year at Seafair. This year for the Chevrolet Cup, he's finding himself trying to get to the final through the provisional. He's going to have Kaylee Perkins working against him.
Rob Bork is in the Power Punch boat. He's in that UL11 team, and he's looking to get into this final, Mike.
Yeah, he's had a tough time being competitive with the frontliners, however, but 3 of these 4 boats are going to go to the final, so some of them may take it easy to try to cruise into that. He may not have to do that.
The Foster Care Vitamin Water team, could Kaylee Perkins, who was leading everything when she came in here, figure she'd have to be in the wild card to make the final?
She has not lost a race this year. Nothing would mean more to Kaylee Perkins and the Perkins family than a win here in Seattle.
And finally, the UL3 team, the SuperTravelZone.com, and Chris Grant. And he's had a 4th and it did not finish, and he's going to have to really push it to the metal here, Michael.
Yeah, there's been a disappointment for Chris because this boat is running number 3 now in the national point standings, and he needs to creep up if he can. He is in a battle for national points with a few races left to play, so he needs to get some points. Of course, getting into the final would certainly help.
So we believe we have all the boats out on the course now. We're probably down to just about 2 minutes. And as a matter of fact, inside of a minute now, 50 seconds. Here is your Comcast course conditions. Look at that temperature. Just keeps going up to 89 degrees. Little chop out on the water. There's a little more breeze blowing, at least where we are, here at the south end of the course and up here on our tower, Chip.
Thank God, because I've been up and down in the pits and up here. The difference between where we are up here in the tower and down there is about 15 degrees.
It is warm. Here's the man with the call of the race, Mike Fitzsimmons.
All right, they're up in the upper corner now, and they've chosen their lanes kind of interesting. Kaylee is lagging back a little bit. It looks like the Power Punch with Rod Bork is going to have lane number 1. And as they come down to make their start here, and they're coming from the Unlimited Turn 1, they'll have a long charge, almost a mile down into the first corner. A Critical Logic, and that is Mr. Becker in lane number 2. Kaylee Perkins in lane number 3, lagging back. It's Chris Grant in the travel zone. They're across the line now, heading down into the first corner. Clean start, looks like, from our vantage point. Watch Paul Becker now. He's got to hold off the red boat to his outside, which is Kaylee Perkins. But a nice turn going into the corner for the Power Punch with Rod Bork, showing that he's got a few beams under the bonnet there, although he's just been overtaken.
They were really late at the start, and as an old race driver, I hate to see that. Maybe later on we go back and take a look, but I think 3 or 4 seconds passed before they actually went across the line. You can't do that in the final and expect to win.
But now this could be a pretty good head-to-head battle because Kaylee Perkins and Paul Becker are both naturally aspirated race boats, pretty evenly matched race boats, and they are right neck and neck right now. And Kaylee really has something to prove. She needs to get her confidence back as she moves toward the final, but she has to also know that she's going to have to be very fast in the final because she's going to meet some boats that have more horsepower than she does. Cross the line first. Kaylee Perkins by a nose now in the Foster Care Vitamin Water. Down into that lower corner, though, Paul Becker is not going to give any ground. He has the inside advantage. advantage in the shorter way around the race course, but Kaylee's starting to tighten down on him, Chip.
Yesterday, Kaylee Perkins broke a motor. She told me this morning that the motor they had in the truck that she's running right now is way better than the one she had yesterday.
She's getting a little flighty there. She comes up the back chute down, gets a lot of air into the race boat. Halfway up the back chute now, Kaylee Perkins has got the lead, but Paul Becker is staying right in her mirror, and they are virtually running practically the same speed, Pat.
Chip, please tell us that Kaylee is ready to get into an unlimited.
Pat, you're the 30th person to ask me that question since lunch. Everyone asked me, do I think Kaylee Perkins ready for an unlimited? What I'd like to see her do is start getting some laps immediately. Not necessarily jump in a race, but at least start getting some laps.
Coming across the line now at the end of lap number 2, Kaylee and Paul Becker are a lot tighter in this final lap as they come down into that lower corner for the last time. Paul Becker in the yellow and blue Miss Critical Logic, and Kaylee Perkins in the Foster Care Vitamin Water, and they are both having a dandy boat race out there. In fact, they're traveling a little harder, Chip, than I would have thought, since 3 boats will go into the final heat, and you race like this, you could jeopardize something.
Well, you know, if Kaylee were my driver, I'm afraid I'd have to have a sit down with her. She was late at the start, and she ran way wide on that corner for no reason at all. So Kaylee's got to be tighter on the start, and she's got to, there it is, here she's cinching it up on him a little bit, and look at the difference.
And she's using the traffic there too, because that's Chris Grant, who has kind of gotten away just a little bit, although he's inside of all of them. All right, Kaylee, real hard off the corner's going to come down to the start-finish line. It's going to be a drag race for the checkered flag. It looks like Kaylee's got just a little more to offer there as she comes across and gets the checkered flag. Paul Becker right in behind her.
Wow, she turned the last lap at 107 miles an hour.
Start quick on a 1 3/4 mile race course, Mr. O'Day. That's plenty fast.
You know, I think what we saw here is what we're going to have to see, or what we're going to see in the unlimited heat. You got to find good water. You got to keep the propeller hooked up. Think of tires, you know, losing traction. All of a sudden the car slows down. You got to keep that propeller with traction, just like you have to keep tires with traction. I think Kaylee was searching for a lane that had some smooth water in it.
And she found it, but she's also was searching for some confidence. When things start going wrong, you get a little bit rattled. I think she's pretty happy, Pat, that the boat ran really strong for her. She needs to know that she can depend on that for the final heat.
And as we look toward the final, listen to these speeds. The first lap with a slow start at 105, but then she turned the next 2 laps at 108.518 and then at 107.250. Watch out in the final of the day, because Kaylee's got that boat flying.
Yeah, and she's going to need every bit of that when she gets up against Ryan Mallow in that Interstate Battery boat, and when she gets up against Greg Hopp in that Graham Trucking boat, because both of those guys got a lot of horsepower. They'll have to start outside of her, but she's going to need all the speed she can in the inside lanes.
And once again, let's explain the horsepower difference. Kaylee's in a boat called a naturally aspirated boat. It gets as much air as it can suck in. But the supercharged boats that Mallow has, for example, and Hop has, they have a supercharger that rams that air into the engine, gives it a lot of power. So hence, they've got more power. They have to start outside. I don't know that these normally aspirated boats can run with them anymore.
Well, it's a good question. We'll find that answer to that question coming up in a very short while this afternoon, when just exactly that kind of a contest unfolds here for the Unlimited Lights. A real disappointment for Chris Grant. This is a guy who's driven really well this year in the first 4 races on the Unlimited Lights circuit, and has done very well as far as the points were concerned. He was in contention at least for second place. Kaylee Perkins way out front as far as the points are concerned, so the real battle is who's going to be the runner-up this year, but he has not had a good Seafair.
There's Kaylee right there, always with a smile on her face. Whether she wins, she loses. When she loses, she's the first one down there hugging the winner. When she wins, she's got $1 million smile. She's really great for boat racing, and she's one heck of a boat driver.
That's a superstar in the making, I'll tell you.
I agree. I think we got Guard Swanson down there with the lady we were just talking about. Guard, what's going on?
Kaylee, get that hat on. We got to see your sponsor, and just tell me a little bit about the race. I know the start wasn't what you wanted.
No, well, we were a little bit off because we have a different motor, and I kind of thought the timing marks would be a little bit different, so I wanted to play a little conservative. But my marks will be right on, so he should be there for the start and the final. So
talk a little bit about the final. Your boat have enough gas, enough power to get through it, win?
I think so. You know, nobody thought we would come out on top last weekend, and you know, we did. So, you know, I'm not as confident this weekend, but I'm certainly not giving up hope because my team didn't last night, so I'm not going to today.
There are a lot of people twittering you right now. Do you know that?
No, I don't really know how to work Twitter, so I hope that's good.
We're kind of hoping you'll Twitter while you drive.
I don't think that's a good idea.
No, probably not.
No.
Let's go back upstairs.
I know a lot of people when I'm driving on the freeway are twiddling why they drive, so I don't see why Kaylee should do it.
and they shouldn't be.
No, they should not be. And they shouldn't be on there. And as a race driver, I'm dead serious about that. You need to, when you're driving, take a break.
Right.
Drive.
Just focus on what you're